Let's redo the intro. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of me making thumbnails. This is going to be a little bit different because this video is only for @editnowman, which is a person who left me a comment on the last video that I made. And he said, you should do a step-by-step tutorial on editing your thumbnails. I'm trying to learn these things. Your videos are dope and helpful, man. So I'm going to make this in-depth tutorial for my guy Edit Now, which was 11 days ago. So I hope he's still sticking around. Okay, so I have 4 steps, okay? 4 steps to make some excellent thumbnails. And we're going to start with step number 1, which is who are the subjects inside of this video? When you're thinking about the video you're going to make, who are the subjects? The example I'm using is the Daily Cowbell. So my 2 main hosts are going to be Amit and Vitaly. This episode is going to be about Jim Cramer. So we're going to have Jim Cramer as well in the thumbnail. Those are going to be the 3 prominent subjects for this thumbnail. Also, what you want to do is keep in mind to have context images. So these are like the images that you're also going to add that give the context to what the video is about. You know, when an audience looks at a thumbnail, they're going to see the main subject, which is going to be Jim Cramer, and then it's going to be Amit Vitaly, and then the context, which is going to be this fake tweet that's like markets crashing, you know, clickbait stuff. But you can really add anything for the subtle context. You know, if you're talking about Elon Musk, you can show a car, or you can show a Tesla battery thing. Wow. Whatever the video is about, you put that as the subtle context. So I'm going to get these images that I've already cut out, and I'll be right back once I cut them out. If you want like an in-depth tutorial on how I cut out these specific images, let me know, because I'm not going to add that in this video just because it takes up a lot of time. But if you want to know that, let me know. I'll make one. Be nice though. So once we have our 4 main subjects here, Jim Cramer, Amit Vitaly, and the fake tweet, we're going to get a background. The importance of this background is to match kind of what they're talking about. I assume they're going to be talking about the stock market. So I'm going to get a background related to the stock market, probably in the color blue, because I see a lot of blue here with Jim Cramer's shirt, which is another important thing, which would be in step 3. But yeah, so I'll get like some bluish type of background related to the stock market, and then we're going to blur it, because when you take photos in real life, there's something called focal length, which means, you know, if there's subjects that you're, you know, have in focus, which is like me, this thing that's not in focus is going to be blurred. So we can kind of use that same thing to just make it seem like it's a little bit more realistic, even though obviously, you know, this isn't like them posing for this photo, but just to make it blend in a little more. So I'm going to grab that background and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this like blue world map background, very basic stuff here, and I just sized that up to the back, made sure everything was looking good, threw in a little bit of Gaussian blur, maybe resized it a little bit. What I like to do even more to make this look even better, because he doesn't stand out that much already, is to grab another image. So I'll grab a secondary image, and then I'll throw that on top of this one, resize it to fit where I want it to fit. And then I'll go up to blending mode and I'll mess with the blending mode. So I'll get something like hard light. So now you can like see a little bit mix of best of both worlds. You know what I mean? And then typically what I like to do is I'll get like a black brush, and I'll just like brush over everything, and I'll lower the opacity of that to like 70%, just so it dims the background more. So why I like to do this is because it focuses your eye on what you're supposed to be looking at, or what I want the audience member to be looking at, which would be this fake tweet, also the 2 subjects, and the main subject, which is what Jim Cramer said. Also with this fake tweet, I like to add a highlight over the tweet to give more emphasis on what the viewer should be looking at. So now is the 3rd most important thing to do. Let's do a little recap so far of what we got. We got 1, images and important subjects and context images of what this video is going to be about. 2, background images. Where is this taking place? What is the setting? Or you can just be very vague and kind of just like have a colored background, which is technically what this is. 3rd is color contrast and theme. This is important because this is what makes your images pop. You know, having little glow effects, having drop shadow, and you know, any of these little subtle details is what's going to make everything look a lot better. So I'm going to go in here and do any of these subtle details, which is going to be, you know, adding drop shadow. Also going to go in and manually change some of the settings of the skin tones to make them look like they're actually similar and not just copy and paste it out of something. Like Vitaly's very red and Emit is kind of desaturated, so I'm going to go in there and mix some of that up. I should have made this tweet white. I messed up on that part. Okay, I'm gonna fix it right now. I'm gonna make it white. Give me a second. Boom, we got the tweet, and we got it even looking more official because we got a little Twitter logo up here on the side. I'm gonna add that little highlight now that I was talking about. Now this is gonna look a lot better here. Boom, just looks so much better. Super highlighted, super good. Maybe a little too dark. I'll change the boom, look at. Now we got that. We got the subtleties in here. Everything's looking good. We got a little glow in the background. We got things looking good. I'm liking it. It's looking nice. What would I add next? Okay, simple thing that you can add is you can find just like these arrows online. This is kind of like extra stuff. I mean, you don't really have to add this, but you can add arrows easily to kind of bring even more So you can add arrows and whatnot to bring even more emphasis to what you are trying to show. Yeah, now if you look at it, and plus it's another very contrasty not prime. I don't even know if it's a prime or secondary color, but it's red. Yeah, red, yellow, blue is 3 primary colors. And look at in this thumbnail, we got all 3 of the prime colors. Red from the arrow, yellow from the highlight, and blue from the rest of everything. The last kind of bit, or there's 2 last steps that I like to do, is I like to go and add some textures. If you guys have any textures, you can find free textures online. I like to use this sparks flying texture. I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool, and I think it gives it extra kind of grunge. But I'm going to throw that on screen. I'm going to change the hue and saturation of that bad boy to a blue color so it fits in even more. And then it looks like there's some blue particles flying around. Boom. That was a little bit of an ad, but it does whatever. The last thing I'm going to recommend is once you have everything, once everything's done and you kind of like it where it is. This is kind of basic, but I like it where it is. It's good for a tutorial. I have to do the cowbell in a little bit, so I am cutting short on time. What you're going to do is you're going to highlight every single layer. You're going to flatten the image to make everything pop exquisite to the next level. You're going to go over here to filter and go to camera raw filter, and this is where things are going to change. This is like the Lightroom of Photoshop. You're able to change, you know, exposure, contrast, highlights. They really let you mess with a lot of stuff, and you can spend days messing with this stuff. But I like to focus on texture, dehaze, and clarity. These 3 settings are very important to make your subjects very contrasty and pop out. This is like some chaotic psycho stuff. This is if you mess with the clarity. I don't like doing that. I like to make everything a little bit blurred. So I'll like decrease the clarity, increase texture, and increase dehaze, increase vibrance a little bit. Boom. That's it for basic slider. Best thing right here. You're going to go to the curves tab. You're going to click on medium contrast. You're going to click alt on these circles on the graph here. You're just going to adjust these. You're going to adjust them to your liking, adjust them to how you envision it. And this looks pretty nice. You can see the contrast. Like we're almost getting to where the darks are like unrecognizable, you know what I mean? But it's very helpful to make your image very contrasty. So curves were good. You can see the before and after. It's very subtle, but again, subtlety is very important. The next big thing, you can mess with sharpness if you want. I don't really mess with it that much, but is color mixer. So this is where you're able to really mess with the colors of this thing. Its jacket right here, you can clearly see it's purple. We can change that color to be even more blue. We can adjust it to be even more purple. You can increase the saturation of these alphas, of these blues, make everything super blue, super saturated, super just contrasty, and just a big difference. Go to effects channel, mess with the gain. You can mess with calibration. Again, yeah, I mean, you can really mess for hours for here, but if you can look, I'm going to do before and after, okay? This is what it is right now. This is what it was before. Very desaturated, not that much contrast. Boom. Just pops out a lot more. Colors are popping. Subjects are popping. That's basically it. That's kind of all you need. You know, your subjects, your background, your colors, and your added effects and overlays. That's basically all you need to make somewhat of a decent thumbnail. Okay, so I think that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this step-by-step. Not anybody. I hope what's his name? I hope Edit Now Man appreciates this video, and I hope you make some dope thumbnails with the information that I have provided for you. If you want to know any more in-depth things about how I actually like mask out and cut out the guys, or how I do like shading effects or anything, let me know down below and I'll get into that. But as of right now, happy with it. I would put it on the thumbnail. and I hope you guys would too. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.